Hi, I'm Darren Mitchell and I'm the CEO of IAS Academy and Labs. Have you ever wondered what happens to the work that you send to us? Well, today we're going to do a little walkthrough and show you the process of how we work. Okay, so the first part of the process. Most of the work now is delivered to us digitally. So we receive all of your scans from the various iOS systems out there. So you send us our scans, we then have somebody prepping those scans, downloading the scans and getting ready for the process of making them digital, fully based and ready to go. Once the scans are downloaded, they then get ready for prepping. As you can see, they come in as a shell and they need quite a lot of work to get them ready. At that point, it takes about 15 minutes for us to prep a model, ready for going to the printer, ready for us to start work on it. So once the models have been prepped, ready for printing, they come into the printing room and be used on our multiple printers. We run about 5 to 6 prints a day, producing about 250 to 300 models per day. Once the models are printed, they come into the lab, sorted into date order, into boxes, and ready for the technicians to start work. Our lab technicians make everything ortho. Whatever you can think of that's ortho orientated, they manufacture it. Everything's handmade and made in batches. As you can see here, we're working on an aligner case. Every process is handmade and handcrafted. Good quality, always through the process. All of our technicians are vastly experienced, GDC registered, and use only the best materials that we can buy. At every point of the process, our technicians are checking their work. As you can see here, Chris is doing the final QC, checking the quality, ready for packaging. Once the work's completed in the lab, it comes out to our post room. The work is then photographed, booked out in our system, and ready for postage. During our normal working week, we send out approximately 1,000 packages.
These printers are LCD printers. They can print up to 8 models on each bed, depending on size. This printer over here prints jigs for bonded retainers, and they go into the first vat of IPA alcohol. This cleans off all the excess resin, the residue, make sure the plate's all clean again. Or you might get bits like hard bits remaining on it, and it can go through the FEP film, which can also damage the screen. As you can see, this is a different resin. It's a special resin, so it's designed to go in the mouth. We use 2 different types, so the standard model resin and this, which is a tray resin. Once they've dried off, they go into the light box, be in here for 15 minutes. Once they're done, out they come. What the light box does is it allows the material to reach its potential properties. Pick up one model, have a look to see if there's any anomalies. Everything's there, everything's looking good. And then by number, you set them up in a row, pair them up if they're in pairs.
Now we're just doing a setup as the dentist has requested. So we're doing the setup for clear aligners, and the software will tell us exactly how many aligners are needed according to the movement that we do. This video will be sent over to the dentist and the patient so that they can see the most ideal setup, and if they want to go ahead and they approve the case. I'm just plotting the axis of the teeth on the arch so the base fits properly onto the model. Putting on the splines to cut out the part of the model that we actually are going to use. We don't need all the frilly bits. Depending on what appliance is needed, the base will be different. So for Essex retainers will be a horseshoe solid model, and for orthodontic appliances such as twin blocks, etc., will be fully based solid models as well. Distortions, so they're quite obvious. Sometimes the teeth are really, really thin, or there's big holes, and the software will try to, repair it. Sometimes the scans are a little bit short, as in there's not enough space from there to there. Make it nice and smooth, cut out the bits we don't need. Yeah, because basically what you see on here is what is sent to the printer. Yeah. So the nicer you make it look, the nicer the model will actually be. And the height and everything, you don't want a massive model, because again, it's a waste of material, and you don't need it to be big, because the appliance will end up not being accurate. So as soon as I've moved all the teeth and I'm happy with the video, I will upload it onto our portal, and they can see what we've sent them. We tell them every single bit of information they need. They need to know the IPR, they need to know attachments, they need to know what appliance it is that we've recommended, or if it's something different perhaps to what they've requested. And then when they have approved it, we save it and export those models and print it, and then we can make the appliances on it.
Today we're doing an aligner case. We've got 4 aligners here. First thing that we would do is to spray them. These are the best machines They're hard-working and they deal with the volume that we pull out every day. So all it's doing is heating up the blank, and then we'll put it under pressure. Once they're in here, there's a countdown just to cool down. So we're just doing a rough cut to get the job out of the blank. So get it out of the circular blank, we make a horseshoe shape. We're now going to use a polisher to go round and smooth off all the rough edges that we've made there. Well, I don't know if you can see, but I'm continually feeling the edge. If you imagine something slightly sharp being in your mouth, what would that be like when you bite onto it? It's magnifying loads of times. These things are fairly tight when they go in, so any discomfort that we make by having a rough edge really puts the patient off using them. It's the one thing that we kind of try and do all the time, and it's checked all the time. So I'm removing now the two protective layers that really stop the process of making it rough on the outside. So we've smoothed this surface, but if it was cut without it, it would be rough on this side as well. And that's a common mistake other people make. Check the fit, make sure it's got a nice little click to it, because it's got to do its work, it's moving teeth, but it's also got to be nice and smooth.
I will do twin block with Adams on the 6s and Adams on the 4s as well. Plus later I will drip in on bite blocks. When I finish Adams grip, I will drip in on acrylic. Now it's perfect. Yep. Another done.
So I've got an Essex retainer that I'm about to post out to a dentist. I'm going to call up the job number. So I'm checking that that's what the dentist had asked for, and I'll photograph the sheet, then check the serial number on the model, and I upload the photographs, and then I'll package it up. And then moving on to the postage, then I input the postcode, and Royal Mail will come up with the address that I need, put the dentist's name, check the address is the same address, apply postage, then I need to weigh the parcel and generate the label. Also photograph that so that we have the proof of the posting with the tracking number, and then this will go into the bag ready for collection this evening.
Once the models have been prepped, I then search for them and bring them into the software which will label and repair the models. So they have their identifying numbers, and also to repair the files, because there's sometimes defections in the model. You got to make sure the mesh is solid. It also allows us to set up the models in place of where they're going to be printed. Okay. So I'll just take you through the process. So once that's done, we would usually have 6 to 8 models on here. So we now repair them. They get saved back into the file, and then they are exported out. Okay, the next stage is to bring them into the software that will create the readable file for the printers. And this is where you can choose which material you want to print it in. So we'll go for the standard model. Also, you can select the type of printer that is then dragged and dropped into the software. This also does final checks if there's anything that the other software has missed, which sometimes it does. So once that's done its calculations, we create the slice file. So as you can see, as I scroll down, this is each individual layer that will be printed. So we just do another check to see if there's anything wrong. Nope, all looks good. Then we save that file to a flash drive, and that's what creates the readable file for the printer. And that's ready to print now, yes. So using printer 1, wait for it to load and press go. 45 minutes later, models.